Hi, everybody. Welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. We take a little time to talk about the wildlife. You know, we got such a great advantage down here, having sportsman's paradise, a lot of things to do. But with all of that comes the wildlife and fisheries and the wildlife and fishery enforcements. And Jonathan Boudreau is a corporal with wildlife and fisheries. So, hey, thanks so much for being with us. Is this a busy time of year for you guys?
Oh, absolutely. Fishing's on fire. It's hunting season, so there's a lot going on.
Duck hunting season for sure. I guess I always think 4th of July, Memorial Day, or Labor Day are big days that, you know, boating, a lot of people on the water. But yeah, this is a time when people are not only on the water, but they're on the water with firearms.
Yes,
sir. So that always, I do appreciate what you guys do for sure, because I know it's not easy sneaking up on somebody. And I know that's not only your job.
And almost everybody's armed.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's the scary part of the job. So we definitely appreciate what you do. And although not when I'm being, not if I'm on top of some feed out in a duck blind somewhere, which I don't do. So anyway, Jonathan, let's talk a little bit about. So right now, this is mostly duck, deer, rabbit hunting seasons and that kind of stuff. And like I say, I guess fishing is actually decent right now too on the inside. Although not today because it's going to be some bad weather. Yeah. But what are we looking for? What are you guys looking for right now? Licenses, and there's been a change in license, right?
Yes, sir. So as of June 30th, 2022, there's been some changes to our recreational licenses. So now the department has gotten away from recreational gear licenses. If you purchase your basic fishing license and your saltwater fishing licenses, your gear license will be included into that. So you'll be able to run your crab traps, your hoop nets, crawfish traps, whatever you like to do recreationally. Just make sure that if it needs to be tagged, then you tag it with that license number. And also, if you're targeting saltwater species below the saltwater line, you have to have both. You have to have both of them. Basic and salt.
And salt water. So you talked, I think you kind of mentioned what it is, but gear includes nets, traps, that kind of stuff. So if I have a trap, say in Grand Isle, and I have a crab trap and go out, there was a time when people were going, man, you got to have a different license for the crab trap.
Yes,
that's all included now in the basic saltwater and regular.
Yes, sir. Before you had to purchase the recreational crab trap gear license, right. And I believe that was $10. But now all the gear is included.
All the gear is included. Is that going to make things easier for everybody? I guess kind of a one-stop shop. Is there a higher fee now?
So there's a higher fee for the licenses now, but ultimately, you get more out of your basic fish and saltwater license. Yeah. Depending on what you like to do.
Right. So have you been out and seeing, I guess my question is, I've heard from a lot of hunters, this has been a great year down here.
I've heard that too.
And do you know when you checking guys, do you check guys at the landings and all that kind of stuff too?
Yes, sir. All over, in the landings, at the landings, in the woods.
Wherever.
Just wherever.
But does it look like a lot of people are killing a lot of ducks this year?
I've seen a lot of ducks this year in the...
Yeah, but I wonder why. I wonder, some people are thinking we had that cold snap that really kind of pushed a lot of ducks down here. Mm-hmm. But some others are saying it's kind of dry up north. So there's been a little bit of a drought that's pushing those birds down.
Yeah, it's been weird the way that flyway's been acting. Some years it's good. Some years some years it's bad. It's been more bad than good.
Right. We hadn't had birds down here. Ducks Unlimited has really helped out and made a lot more habitat for ducks along the flyway. But a lot of them are staying a little further north. So I know a lot of guys from down here were going, why are we helping out if we can't get the birds anymore? So that's real interesting. So what should a hunter look for? What are you guys looking for when you go into blinds? It's not just numbers, right? You guys are looking for safety and all those kind of things too, right?
So yes, sir. We're checking to make sure everybody is following the regulations, obviously. But no, drinking and guns don't go together. So we're here for public safety also. we
When you're checking a guy out for like a boat, and when you're looking for gear, their gear, and not so much the gear we were talking about earlier, but flotation devices, I'm sure with guns, obviously plug in the gun,
Right.
all those kind of things, right? Is that something? What's the most common things, most infraction people come up with?
for hunters.
Yeah. Do we still have a lot of people that are baiting fields and doing all that? And I was teasing
Yeah,
about it earlier.
they're still at it. We're still getting complaints that we're working currently.
Nighttime, I would imagine.
Nighttime activity, yes, sir. Nighttime
still a big
hunting.
deal?
Yes, sir. So, yeah, it's
All that kind of enforcement, though, right? And bull eyeing would be a big deal.
actually that's the nighttime bull eyeing complaint. That's the most common complaint in this area.
So most of the time, somebody will call you and say, "Hey, there's a guy behind my house, and I can see the light, and I can hear a gunshot." Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, that's not fair. I mean, we always have an expression. You've probably heard it. It's no fun when the rabbit has the gun, right? So,
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about some of the changes that we've seen with hunting licenses this year with the gear. A lot of the gear will now just go into the basic hunting and fishing licenses now. Let's talk about something that was a little controversial. I know a lot of people were surprised by the size and limit of trout, which
Yes, sir.
What's your official name?
Jonathan.
No. What's the official name of the fish?
Oh, spotted sea trout. I'm sorry.
The spotted sea trout, we all call them specks around
Yes,
here.
sir.
But the specks and reds are the most chased species around our area. You were saying biologists saying the numbers are a little down, huh?
Yes, sir. They're seeing a decline in the numbers. So that's why the Wildlife and Fisheries Commission went ahead and they passed a notice of intent to change the regulations on the spotted sea trout to 13.5 inches minimum legal length and 15 per day. So that's not in effect right now.
Okay.
As of right now.
So
it's still
12 and 25.
Yes, sir.
12 inches, 25 per man.
Yes, sir. So we're just waiting to see what's happening upstairs and
But I'd heard that change, I guess, during the summer. I thought I'd heard it.
Right.
So what are we waiting on? I'm sorry.
I'm not sure. It's some legal things, I'm sure.
I thought it had already changed, but
No.
well, glad to know if I'm out there. But
Yeah.
I'll be legal. But so what you think? Do they have an idea of why the numbers are down?
So
now?
it's for a variety of reasons. Fluctuation in salinity, loss of habitat, freezes, overfishing.
Yeah. Which is, why the size and limits will come back. And I guess they would see how it does year to year, and if they come back, then
Right.
let the limits go
Yeah,
back.
I've read a study that said that with this new regulation, within 5 years, the spotted sea trout will be back to a sustainable level.
Yeah. And we've seen it in recent past, with redfish, same way. It got real popular there, and we had to put a limit size
With
on
the
those.
blackened redfish recipe.
Exactly right.
And the red drum actually, they're not as bad. We're kind of seeing this same thing, a drop in the population. So that's probably going to be the next thing that's going to be addressed. And the department wants input on what should be done about the red drum population. So if you could email us, handwrite us letters, and take online surveys, everybody's input will be appreciated on that.
Yeah, and so you can go online, look up Department of Wildlife
Yes,
Fisheries,
sir.
Louisiana Wildlife.
It's going to be www.ldwf.la.gov.
Right. Okay. I get my fishing license there every year as well.
Yes,
so
sir. Same website.
We'll see that as well. And again, y'all don't have a date of when the new spec size will come into play. So
We're all waiting. There should be a
Probably the
announcement,
summer, I would
a public
think.
announcement.
I would think just from the numbers of people that are out there chasing specs right now, this is probably the smaller time compared to the summer and spring when everybody's got their boat. And you go down to Grand Island, there's 2 boats on every pair of rocks down there.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm sure right now
And
a little less people out there.
A lot of them are hunting right now, probably.
Exactly. So you get any numbers on what the hunting seasons are like? I know we talked about, it seems like a real good duck season. Do you know how many deer are harvested and whether that's tending, how that's trending?
I don't have those numbers.
Yeah, I didn't know how they do it and if they wait to the end of the year as well on that. Let's talk about boating safety. And this time of year, we have a unique area where we're dealing with a lot of fog. When it's hot and cold the way it is, that's probably one of the more dangerous things at this time of year. This morning, I live on the Intracoastal, and this morning when I went to work out, it's still dark. And I saw 2 or 3 boats zipping by just dead of night. You know, now obviously they had their lights on, their running lights. But that does add a little element for what you guys have to deal with,
That's
right?
actually a huge problem right now, nav lights. When visibility is low, you have to have those nav lights on. So we're going to be out looking for that.
Yeah.
So it's the hunters, the fishermen, commercial fishermen, everybody.
And the regular people that are on the water with
Yes.
with our industry and tugboats and barges and all that are out there at this time. I know when it gets foggy, it can be tough. I know that Wax Lake outlet. I don't know if y'all go to Morgan City. That's
another district.
Right, but that's a real area. That place
Oh,
is
yeah.
always and
Near
then sandbars,
Chapalaya.
and the sandbars and all that. It's really treacherous when it comes down there, but they got a lot of ducks down there as well. So what can we do this time of year? I know February is usually the time for a lot of people to do boat maintenance because it's not a great time. But as we move from January into February, take a little break from Mardi Gras, what can somebody do to make sure all their gear is ready to go for the spring?
So a good idea right now would be to go and make sure all your life jackets are serviceable. When we stop somebody to do a boating safety check, we don't want to see dry rotted
Right.
PFDs. We don't want to see the styrofoam. I mean the flotation inside of it. Make sure that your inflatable life jackets have the cartridge to actually inflate it, because that's a thing. Right.
Yeah, those are the new ones that are easier to wear, but yeah, sometimes those can go bad as well. So you got to also have a noise maker, I guess, on board, a fire extinguisher, and make sure all your running lights are working, right?
Absolutely. Check the running lights and do some trailer work right now.
Yeah, I've been stopped way too many times that I know all of that stuff. But no, it's a responsibility of the boater to know that stuff before you get on the water.
Yes, sir. And as a boat operator, everybody in your boat you're responsible for them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no doubt. It's all fun and games until something goes wrong. So,
Yes,
Jonathan,
sir.
we sure appreciate it, man. Appreciate your service out there. I know it's not an easy job, but appreciate you doing it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more Bite Time right after this.